Okay, so I'm reading from The Power of Now. My last video went a little bit long. I didn't know if I was going to get censored with some of the stuff I was talking about. So, if the video is still up, go check it out. I get very deep and personal, you know. And this is like a part 2. There's an orange butterfly that keeps popping up outside my window. So this is like a part 2 where I actually read to you the things that I wanted to in the first one. It's just I didn't want to stop what I had to say in order to just read this. So this video is me probably just reading shit. It's Sunday, so probably only gonna do 2 videos today. The way out of pain. Create no more pain in the present. This is a student asking, or I don't know, some random person, the question and then the answer. So this is the student's question. Nobody's life is entirely free of pain and sorrow. Isn't it a question of learning to live with them rather than trying to avoid them? And this is his answer. The greater part of human pain is unnecessary. It is self-created as long as the unobserved mind runs your life. The pain that you create now is always some form of non-acceptance, some form of unconscious resistance to what is. On the level of thought, the resistance is some form of judgment. On the emotional level, it is some form of negativity. The intensity of the pain depends on the degree of resistance to the present moment. And this in turn depends on how strongly you are identified with your mind. The mind always seeks to deny the now and to escape from it. In other words, the more you are identified with your mind, the more you suffer. Or you may put it like this: the more you are able to honor and accept the now, the more you are free from pain, of suffering, and free of the egoic mind. Why does the mind habitually deny or resist the now? Because it cannot function and remain in control without time, which is past and future, so it perceives the timeless now as threatening. Time and mind are, in fact, inseparable. Imagine the earth devoid of human life, inhabited only by plants and animals. Would it still have a past and a future? Could we still speak of time in any meaningful way? The question, what time is it, or what's the date today, if anybody were there to ask it, would be quite meaningless. The oak tree or the eagle would be bemused by such a question. What time, they would ask. Of course, it's now. The time is now. What else is there? We need the mind as well as time to function in this world, but there comes a point where they take over our lives. And this is where dysfunction, pain, and sorrow set in. The mind, to ensure that it remains in control, seeks continuously to cover up the present moment with past and future. And so, the validity and infinite creative potential of being I didn't say the validity. Where did that come from? Validity. Give me a moment. The cap wouldn't come off. Hold on. It said vitality. Hold up. I'll read it again. I have a whiteboard like behind me over there and over my desk. Okay. The mind, to ensure that it remains in control, seeks continuously to cover up the present moment with past and future, and so as the vitality and infinite creative potential of being, which is inseparable from the now, becomes covered up by time, your true nature becomes obscured by the mind. An increasingly heavy burden of time has been accumulating in the human mind. As individuals are suffering under this burden, why can't I read out loud? All individuals are suffering from under this burden, but they also keep adding to it every moment when they ignore or deny that precious moment or reduce it to a means of getting to some future moment which only exists in the mind, never in actuality. The accumulation of time in the collective and individual human mind also holds a vast amount of residual pain from the past. If you no longer want to create pain for yourself and others, if you no longer want to add to the residue of past pain that still lives on within you, then don't create any more time, or at least no more than is necessary to deal with practical aspects of your life. How to stop creating time? Realize deeply that the present moment is all you will ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. Whereas before, you dwelt in time and paid brief visits to the now. Have your dwelling place in the now and pay brief visits to the past and future when required to deal with the practical aspects of your life situation. Always say yes to the present moment. What could be more futile, more insane than to create inner resistance to something that already is? What could be more insane than to oppose life itself, which is now and always now? Surrender to what is, say yes to life, and see how life suddenly starts working for you rather than against you. The present moment is sometimes unacceptable, unpleasant, and awful. That's the question. It is as it is. It is what it is. Observe how the mind labels it and how this labeling process, this continuous sitting in judgment creates pain and unhappiness. By watching the mechanics of the mind, you step out of its resistance patterns and you can then allow the present moment to be. This will give you a taste of the state of inner freedom. This will give you a taste of the state of inner freedom from external conditions, the state of true inner peace. Then see what happens and take action if necessary or possible. Accept then act. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Always work with it, not against it. Make it your friend and ally, not your enemy. This will miraculously transform your whole life. You know what's funny? That I can't read out loud. I'm a writer, I'm an author. I wrote a whole book and it's amazing, and I'm tripping over my words. And I'm not even like trying to speed read. I'm trying to actually slow the speed reading down that I'm accustomed to in my mind. Anyways, okay. This is Access Superconsciousness by R.J. Spina. Okay, I guess I will read that part to you. I was planning on starting it like way over here, but no, I'll read over here. All of you understand every word I'm saying without thinking. Sit with that for a moment. Your entire life is memorized. The subconscious mind takes care of that for you. It memorizes and stores everything. For example, you see a cup of tea and you know how to drink from it. You get into your car and you know how to drive. You know how to wash yourself, feed yourself, and clothe yourself. You know the directions to work, your girlfriend's house, the petting zoo. I want you to look at this deeply, because for us to get the most out of ourselves, this life and these teachings, we must be present, full presence. How is this accomplished? Without effort. Just totally relax and let these teachings fall upon your ears of your heart. Fall upon the ears of your heart. I did read that. From this moment on, you shall no longer quantify your existence by how productive you are. Instead, if you must, quantify your existence by how present you've been throughout the day. How much of the mighty I Am presence have you brought directly, tangibly into every moment? Do not try to mentalize these teachings. Commune with me, as the I Am is the embodiment of these teachings. Mentalization prevents self-knowledge from blossoming. Don't worry about memorization, for that is the pattern, subconscious, egoic mind. There is nowhere to go, nothing to achieve, nothing to acquire, nothing to become. What you will quickly realize as we work with these teachings, it is that they are profoundly simple because they are direct, tangible truths. The finite and fragmented mind is now downstream of the I Am, and therefore complicates everything. These teachings come directly from the higher mind of Source / God / Creator. And believe it or not, what is beyond Source, Creator, God. The only journey we actually ever I'm going to leave it, but yes, I know I'm stumbling over my words for some reason. It's quite annoying. The only journey we ever actually embark upon once incarnate is internal. For those who dedicate themselves relentlessly and without hesitation It is possible to realize the greatest truth, know self. Being able to tangibly experience this and live this way is self-mastery. That is the hero's journey and the only exploration and discovery that we ever tangibly make. You actually never go anywhere. The universe likes to test you because that's where evolution and growth comes from. Like attracts like. That's metaphysics. Anything else is BS. And when I say BS, I mean belief systems. Metaphysics is the key. It unifies all the higher teachings that we call spirituality and religious doctrine. The inner metaphysics, the inner metaphysics, the journey itself, look like this and in this order: self-betrayal, self-denial, self-awareness, self-acceptance, self-confidence, self-control, self-discipline, self-destiny, self-realization, and self-mastery. Your discipline is your destiny. Your limitations begin where your self-discipline ends. Everything reflects your state of consciousness. Your translation of what is a reflection and in direct correlation with your higher level of sentient self-awareness. What you perceive within the screen of your consciousness reflects your level of self-realization. Everything is designed for you to know thyself. The entire multiverse is multi-frequental and multi-dimensional hall of mirrors that acts as an amplifier and it acts as an amplifier and mirror, there's no S, for your vibration. But there are like a bunch of mirrors, but that's just, anyways. Whatever frequency you are broadcasting, the universe reflects it always. That way you learn about yourself as an immortal creator. That's what I call vibrational engineering, and I have developed an entire system for consciousness evolution and specifically manifestation in all forms. With supreme states of awareness, you realize it's all pattern of energy. Patterned. Not patterns. It has a ED at the end. Patterned of energy. Take note that everything we discover has nothing to do with thinking. What you do, I don't know why I'm getting closer to the camera. I should have put it back a little bit more. Take note of everything. Take note that everything we've discovered. One moment. Take note that everything we discovered has nothing to do with thinking. What do you think about that? You are immortal, infinite, and limitless. You have no name, image, or form. You are beyond all labels, understandings, identifications, bodily sensations, theoretical assumptions, and even imagination itself. We are God. The mighty I am is God. When you say I am, that means God is.
Everything you think about already exists in the invisible realms of your mind.
Apparently, someone needed that reminder. It is a reminder, like to me, that I put on my phone years ago that I've just kept. But it does like to interrupt things. When you have a glass of water and look at just one tiny drop, it is still water. That one drop is still water. We are all a drop of God. When I speak about enlightenment and self-mastery, I mean transcending the limitations associated with being human through identification with the physical form and the mechanisms of the finite mind. For human beings, the foundation of the EMI is identification with the form factor or the physical body. That misidentification leads you to body consciousness, which means just 5 senses in the intellect. Dislocked in your time. That's the full immersion experience of being human. Once you identify with the body, the physical world becomes real. Now, the truth of what you are is gone. You have just spelled yourself into separation, limitation, and lack. Everything that has a beginning has an end, including the incarnation. We've discovered that giving birth to beginnings, we are discovering what gives birth to beginnings and endings. That's the path of the master. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. And on my video labeled What Enlightenment, Judgment in Jesus, I talk about being careful of the labels that you place on people, things, and because you're limiting the situation, the person, place, thing, like you're limiting it, right?
Connect to source.
Apparently my phone just wants to talk to y'all today too. But I don't want to redo this video. So, I'm gonna let you just sit with that. I know I was stumbling along my words and whatever. I'm sure the more that I read, the more I'll get better at it. Whatever. I usually don't read to people. Unless it's my kids, but they don't care. So, I'm going to end it on that note and let you just have all of that sink in. I have a lot of other videos that you can check out. I feel like when people integrate and learn that core piece to the puzzle, you know, I feel like once people feel that peace underneath it all, you know, I feel like the world would be better off. The more people judge less. And yes, of course, that's me judging the world. But I have a vision for the future that I want to, and I will, bring into the world. Because I know I didn't go through everything for nothing. And I don't really feel like it's just for my own growth. Because like I said, if it was just for, like I said in like the last video, it was just for me and for my growth, then I would be in my own little world, away from people. There would be another mirror that wasn't a human, right? And God is very intelligent. And yes, I do believe God is, I know people say the most high energy, the most high frequency, but still conscious. But that's another subject because it's actually more complex than that. God is more complex than that, but that was just like a glimpse into what I believe God is. And I know everyone has their own like identifications and labels and all of that, but I don't necessarily 100% agree with a lot of the spiritual community when it comes to God. Like, we are the gods. Yes, we're like the drop of water, you know, as R.J. Spina said in his book. We're a drop, okay? What about the rest of the drops? What about the drops that we don't even see? The consciousness, the larger consciousness. Yes, like I said, it's more of a complex subject than we have discovered, than we've previously, talked about, and what we've previously read. But that's just my personal experience because I asked for a sign. And it came to me in the most unexpected way. I was not even expecting my brain, my RAS, you know, that system to pick up on this because it was completely. But I asked God, like, who, not really who, but what. That I was like, it was a certain question that I asked, right? And a certain sign. This means yes, this answer is correct. This means no, this answer is correct, you know? I did that, and the sign came to me. I don't think people really intentionally like to limit things, but they don't necessarily see how they are limiting things. Which, I am human too. It's all a part of the human experience. We're identifying with our human body. We're identifying more with the physical world than the non-physical world. But I have been and I want to continue to identify with that energy over a physical body. Like, I know I've been knowing I'm not like this physical one body because of remembering my previous life. So I know I'm not just this body. I've been knowing like there's life after life and all of that. If that makes sense to you. I just like connecting with that presence within myself and knowing that regardless of what happens, everything's fine. And then you can go from there to what do I feel like doing? What will make me happy and what will just spark life and spark joy within me, and then doing those things. So, yes. I'm going to take care of my plants or watch this butterfly that keeps coming back. And I know this helped. I'm gonna end the video. Have a great Sunday. Please let me know all the magical moments that you've had today. Thank you for watching and for being here, for being on Earth, you know. I greatly appreciate it.